And prayer is the thing, right?
And prayer is what connects us to God.
Right. Yes. Yes, it's really important. Even right now, before getting started, it's a way to center ourselves on God, on what's important, on knowing that that's our communication line to God. There's peace after you pray.
Yeah, like the weight is just lifted.
Yeah.
God, this is you.
Yes.
More of you and less of me.
That's right. That kind of opens up for what we were talking about. It's almost like having a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Being a friend with God.
Oh, yeah.
And having that connection. You can't have a relationship without talking, right?
You can't. You're right.
And so how do you have a relationship with God if you don't talk to him?
You can't.
It's through prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can't expect God to influence you or to speak into you when you don't talk to him.
Right. And so that's the lifeline. We can't forget to do that.
The lifeline. I love that.
Yeah.
And it sounds dramatic.
Yeah.
But it is.
It is.
It is.
Really
it needs to be our lifeline. It's something that we need to always depend on.
Right.
God, we depend on you to influence me, influence my decisions that I make daily. Because if I love you and I communicate with you, then I know that the decisions that I make today, it's going to be based on what you're teaching me.
Right.
Or where you want me to go.
Right.
Because I remember being younger and having the wrong friends.
Yeah.
Before I had Jesus as my friend, my top priority friend.
Right.
I had other individuals influencing my life. I looked for friends that weren't truly friends. I looked for belonging where I didn't belong, where God knew I didn't belong. And because I wanted to be part of that for so long, and I strived to be like individuals that didn't suit me for good, I ended up walking through a path that I should have never walked through.
Right. But you weren't being, because you didn't know Jesus, you weren't asking for that counsel, right? You were listening to other counsel.
Yeah. No, it was, I would say it was mainly out of ignorance because I lacked so much knowledge. I was so young and not knowing who I really was or who I was called to be.
Oh, man.
So I was looking for belonging.
Yeah.
Belonging. Being part of something.
Yeah.
And I think back and there were so many mistakes that was made. So many things that I did wrong in order to belong.
I keep thinking about what we were learning about Rehoboam. Remember how he asked for counsel from his friends? They were the wrong people and they led him astray, right?
Oh,
they took him down a path that he shouldn't have been on. And right now, as you're saying that, I just how when we're young, it's so easy to listen to counsel from your friends,
Yeah.
And yeah, it might lead us down a path that's not the right path, Yep. And there's wisdom in seeking counsel. Obviously, how you said, the first counsel, now that we have God, is going to him. That's the most important. But when we didn't have that, who do we go to? Friends, people that we wanted to belong to, groups,
Yep.
And so it lays us, it puts us on a path that we shouldn't be on. And that's what happened here in that story with Rehoboam. He had counsel, wise counsel, from the older men, but he decided to listen to the counsel from his friends, and it wasn't the right counsel. So it just, I don't know, it makes me think how important it is to have the right people speaking into your life, and you giving them permission to speak into your life, and taking that in,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
not really analyzing like who is telling me what. And then should it be something that I should take and apply to my life?
Yeah.
Right? Because if not, it becomes like the blind leading the blind.
It really does, man. There's a lot of verses in the Bible that reflect that idea. For example, one of them is Proverbs 27:6, which says, "You can trust what your friend says, even when it hurts. But your enemies want to hurt you, even when they act nice."
Wow.
So we need to be able to find close friends that we trust. But how do we know which friends we can trust? I mean, for starters, I would say, how are the relationship with God? See, now I understand that if I look for friendships that are gonna make me stronger, make me wiser, help me be more connected with God, I need to find a man who prays.
Yeah.
I need to find a man who talks to God.
Oh, that's
I
good.
need to find a man who's aligned with God. So we need to do a little bit of almost like investigation,
Right.
figuring out who is this person.
Right.
before we can even accept their counsel.
Right.
Because if not, we're just accepting counsel from just anybody.
Yeah.
And if we listen to a wrong counsel, like what you said, that would lead us astray.
Right.
That's going to lead us down a path where we probably shouldn't have gone through that path.
Yeah.
But we did.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have happened. And, now that I feel more connected with God, or I am more connected with God, I know that even with friendships, I'm going to pray about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray about my friendships.
Yeah.
See, now I know what to pray for.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Align me with the man who can sharpen me. Iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
Who's going to make me stronger for the better.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a friend who can, how do I put this? Not criticize me, but tell me straightforward. Hey, Marco.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real with me. You know what?
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
But it's because I love you
Yeah.
that I'm going to tell you something hard that you need to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit down, buddy.
Ooh.
You're wrong. You're doing this the wrong way.
Man.
You need to realign yourself. You're out of alignment. It's almost like giving him permission to see my dashboard of a car, for example. When you start having those maintenance lights popping up, I'm like, hey, you need to check this out. But sometimes I'm blind to my own maintenance light.
Yeah.
And having a close friend,
Yeah.
a righteous friend, a friend who's connected with God can see that.
Yeah.
And giving him permission to, hey, man, you need to speak life into me.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm on cruise control and all these lights are flickering and I'm not paying attention to them.
That's so good. Man, that is powerful the way that you illustrated that, with the car.
Yeah.
I was learning about that, like friendship, like what it really means, I forgot the word, but in its root form, friendship.
Yeah.
It translates to like secret almost. So it's like you're telling your friend your secrets, like you're opening up how you're saying, like you're showing them your dashboard. Like there's something that like vulnerability that you're able to open up in that way, Yep. It's something that like we talked about, like you, like not necessarily because you open up like that with somebody that you're friends with, you're close with, you're not necessarily going to do that with everybody. No. But it's a form of wisdom, right? You need to know who to do that with.
Yes.
And like you said, you need to pray for it. And it starts with that. It starts with prayer. It starts like, Lord, put the right people in my life so that they could speak into my life. But then you need the discernment to know if those relationships are the ones that you could do what you said, open up and have that connection with, because not like I was thinking like, or how we were saying, not every relationship is going to be able to give you that counsel or speak into your life in that way. Yeah. You need to have wisdom, but it's going to start with God. It's going to start with prayer. It's going to start with like putting God first so that he could show you, hey, this is the relationship or not.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's powerful about having the right friendships, the right friends in your life, that we're gonna go across moments where we might fall. We might trip, and if we don't have the right friend, he might not see you trip. He might not even notice the trip and just keep walking. See, I need to be able to have a friend who can look back and notice me. Yeah. Hey, buddy, it's okay. Yeah. You fell? I got you. Wow. Here's my hand. I'll pick you up. You're limping? It's okay. Yeah. I got 2 strong legs and a strong shoulder. Yeah. Lean on me. We're doing this together. We're going to walk through this together. Yeah, that's good. I'm not leaving you behind. Wow. That's crazy, dude. As you were saying that, I was thinking about Jonathan and David. Uh-huh. There was a moment where King Saul wanted to kill David, right? Yeah. And Jonathan tells him, he says, hey, my dad wants to hurt you. And like he helps him to get away from harm's way, in other words, right? From his own father, from his father, dude. Can you imagine that? Like, that's a friend, dude. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, yeah. Like, his own father. But, like, their connection was so deep like that he was able to do that, And, like, and mind you, like, obviously, in a way, because it's always honor your father, right? But Jonathan knew, like, hey, my father's, like, it's not wrong. What he's doing is wrong. Yep. So he was able to stand up for what was right and honor his friend in that way. Can you imagine that? Wow. That's powerful. That is extremely powerful, man, to think about that. And those are the kind of friendships that we need to pray for now. Because if we don't, we're not going to find them. Yeah. It's hard to find friends like that. Really, I know there's a lot of people who live throughout their lives and will tell me, oh, be careful. be careful with friends. Friends don't really exist.
Yeah.
No, friends. What friends?
Yeah.
They're there when it's convenient, and then they're gone. Which is true. Which there's a lot of people who are like that, who are just with you for the benefits that they get from being your friend, or vice versa.
Right.
But when you truly find a friend that is there with you and loves you unconditionally, not because of what you have to offer,
right,
but for who you are.
Yeah.
See, they start to know you.
Yes.
They start to see through you, and they see your heart.
Yeah.
And those friends are the ones that we need to pray for.
That's right. And you know, as you were saying that, I'm thinking it's almost like I don't know how you would put this, but it's like a good test, if you will, if you want to use that word. It's like you could test your friendships when things aren't going well, you know, like once things don't go well, you really see who's there.
Once things start getting a little rocky,
to lift you up, as you were saying, right?
It's like, oh, why is my friend getting further and further away from me?
I'm out, you know, like
I stopped hearing from him.
Yeah. Once things get hard, you know, that's a good measure to know, like, hey, you know, like this person really is there for me, because that's when you most need a friend, you know.
Yeah. Not
when things are going well. It's easy to be a friend like that.
Oh yeah.
But when things are going rocky, that's I don't know if test is the best word to use, but it's like a barometer to measure, you know. Like, where does this friendship
we'll call it life circumstances that happen, you know, because I remember having a lot of friends in high school, man. I'm not saying I was popular, you know, but I knew a lot of people. I had a lot of associates, and you know, and my parents would tell me, oh, your friends, you know, after high school, you'll see who your friends are, because most of the time, once you're growing up, people start doing their lives. People start becoming disconnected. You know, I completely understand. I'm pretty sure I got disconnected from some of the friends that I thought were really close. You know, because life happens.
Right.
You know, after you graduate, you start looking for a career. You start looking for the future, what's to come, and not everyone's going to be on the same path. And that's okay. Sometimes we have seasonal friends who are there with us for a season. Who allowed us to grow. Right. You know, we learned a few things from each other, and that was it. That was all it was really meant to be.
It was a season. That's so true, dude. And like, I was even thinking about in high school, I had really good friends. I mean, we were tight, dude. We were like, I'm like, man, we're gonna be friends forever. But what happened was, out of high school, I moved out to Riverside, right? My friends stayed back home in LA. And so what happened was, we had the disconnect of distance. Right? On top of that, shortly after, I got married at 18. So think about that. Now I'm married. My friends are single. Now we're in two different life stages.
Oh, yeah.
They would invite me, dude. They would hit me up. They would say, hey, let's go hang out. And part of me was like, I want to hang out. These are my friends. But part of me was like, wait a minute, you're married?
I'm married now.
You know, once you're married, it's different.
Completely.
You can't be living a single life. You're married now, right? And so that was a big challenge, and that was something that pulled us apart. How you're saying, circumstances, right? Or seasons. The season of our friendship had ended because our friendship was based on school. It was based on an environment. It was based on similar circumstances, which was we were all single. But now I'm married. Now they're not. Now we can't even talk about the same things.
They won't even understand.
They won't understand. They're gonna say, "What are you talking about, wife?" You know,
what is that? Oh yeah, my girlfriend. Yeah, I just left her over there.
Yeah,
I can do whatever I want. But it's not the same thing.
It's different, very different. And how you're saying that's so true. That some friendships come with seasons, and then when those seasons are over, you know, again, how we always say, like, we have to have the wisdom to know, when is that season over?
Oh, yeah.
And when is the season to just move on? And that doesn't mean we're not going to be friends or we're, you know.
Oh, no, not at all.
It just means that closeness, what kept you together, is now not there anymore.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or even this, even imagine having friends. You have kids, I have kids. That brings us together, right?
Right.
We're married, that brings us together. Imagine having a friend where they're single, you're married, you're with kids. It's totally different. Even my kid throws a tantrum. They're surprised by their behavior because it's so unknown to them. It's different circumstances. And that doesn't mean it won't work. It just means that it's harder to bond in that way.
Well, because it's harder to relate.
Yeah.
It's harder to relate. And, you know, I've had a few friends that still stuck around after high school for a while. But exactly what you're saying is because of my circumstances in life were different. You know, being married, having a son, and my other friends being single.
Yeah.
Not having kids. You know, still living life. You know, doing what they wanted. Having a free spirit led life. You know, just doing whatever they please. And I just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And as much as I love them, you know, because they're really tight friends and we've grown a lot together, but we weren't the same anymore.
Yeah.
Life was taking us towards a different course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll still see them every once in a while, and I'll still call them every once in a while. Hey, dude, you know, we'll talk like if nothing happened. Hey, how's it going, man? How you been? This whoop-de-whoop. You know, just catch up, but that's it. It's not the same, but we still have that respect for one another, and we'll still communicate to see how we're doing.
Wow, you know, it's crazy for me too. Like with my friends, we're still homies. You know, we're still friends, but it's almost like we never left.
Right.
Like we take it off from where we left, but what unites us and what keeps us still like. What keeps like similarities in our friendship is the past. Like that's what we talk about. Like, remember back then, you know?
Oh yeah.
But now it's like there's a disconnect of like who I am now. I don't really think they know who I am.
Well, no, because you've grown so much in this span of time that you haven't seen them.
Right.
Especially in your new season that you're in.
Yeah.
And they're not there, so they're not going to be learning the same thing that you're learning.
Right.
I recently went to a baby shower of an old friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Just this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the guy in years.
Yeah.
The last time I saw him, we went to a men's conference. It was a church event.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. This is before I was married, you know, before he was married. So we connected. And he's like, oh, man, you're going to be my liability partner. You know, you're going to keep me on check. I'm going to keep you on check. But then I got married.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my
Things
season changed.
Things changed.
And I didn't see him for a long time.
Yeah.
But that was okay. And I haven't seen him for a while. And then when he finally communicated with me again, hey, Marco, I want to invite you to my wedding.
Oh,
I'm getting married.
Nice.
And then recently, last weekend, he's like, hey, Marco, I want to invite you to my baby shower. I'm having a baby.
That's cool.
You know, so now his season is changing into something where I was at.
Yeah.
So now we might
have
be
more
connected.
similarities.
More similarities, yes. And, you know, it reminds me of having friends that have already gone through what you're going to go through. It's going to help you.
Yeah.
See, having the right friendships who can almost guide you or just let you know, hey, watch out for this.
Yeah. Because you already experienced it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's true. You could, and see, like it's so like in this case, right? Like he almost got removed, and now he's like back in your life.
Yeah.
And now you could maybe help him in that area. You know, hey, he's gonna be a new parent. Like you have some tips and tricks. You know.
Well, yeah, because you know they met Zeke. You know, it's the first time that they met Zeke that I haven't seen in a long time, and they're like, "Oh man, like Zeke is awesome. Like, how do you do it?" Well, first of all, it's not us, it's God, first and foremost. You know, but yes, it's just he's like, oh, how did you do this? How did you go past this? Even with diapers, with sleep schedule, and just, well, this is what we did. Yeah. You know, I can show you kind of what we did. Yeah. And that could help you. Yeah. Or even when we went to a trip not that long ago for New Year's, we went on a trip to, which park was it? Yosemite?
Out to Yosemite, yeah.
It was Yosemite, right? And we went with a group, and we had the walkie-talkies, which is super cool. Yeah. I've never done that before. Yeah. So that was awesome for me. But being able to be driving behind each other in a line, one in the front, one in the middle, one in the back, we had this sense of communication. Yeah. To where we knew that the person in front, if he was approaching danger, if he knew something was coming, he can let us know. Yeah. Hey, watch out for this. Yeah. There's a landslide ahead. Yeah.
And it happened.
And it did happen. Yeah. And it was a perfect imagery for me. That really painted a picture of what friendship is. Yeah. And how we can help one another. You know, we all had different paths, but they sometimes intertwine. Right. And I went through this season before you, but now you might be going through this season that I've already walked through. Yeah. So now I can almost guide you. Hey, watch out for this. Yeah. It's dark there. There's a pothole to your right. Yeah. You know, we'll swerve to your left so you can avoid that. Because if not, if you go through that, you're going to you're going to hit it.
You're going to hit it, yeah.
You might ruin your tire.
Yeah.
That one little thing can turn into something major.
Right.
That can completely
Swerve
you out of the way, cause an accident, make
Yeah.
something more than what it could have been.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a friend
Right.
who's already went through the hardships,
Right.
who already struggled and stumbled and got lost and found his way back out,
And is
now
guiding
it
you
can help you.
because of wisdom,
And it's wisdom.
Yeah.
That's wisdom.
Yeah. It's
Learning it, being able to apply it,
Yeah.
and being able to pass it down to a friend.
Right. That's so good. That's true. That's the importance of friendship and the right friendships, how we were
Yes.
saying, right?
Yes.
And that's awesome, man. I always hear you tell that story. That's a great visual. It's just like, it's so true. Like, that's exactly what it is. That's what doing life together is, right?
Yes.
That's shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
And you only get that through friendship, right?
Yep.
You get that through that accountability, that connection, that closeness. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was your friend, right? And we were in on the trip together in that moment, I wouldn't have known to let you know, like, hey, there's danger up ahead. I would be too far,
Yep.
It only worked because we were so close to each other. There was
we were
closeness.
connected. We were connected.
That's right.
Visually we're connected with the walkie-talkie,
Yeah.
but this is how we need to be connected. But
Yeah.
how do we get connected? We need to be vulnerable with one another.
Yeah.
We need to be transparent, so
Yeah.
we know what our struggles are.
Right.
So we know what to look out for one another.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we keep things close, we keep things hidden.
Yeah.
I can't help you with something that I don't even know you're struggling with.
Right.
I can't.
If it's in the dark, it's not, it's not in the light. Like,
Exactly.
How are you
Nobody's
gonna know?
gonna know.
Yeah, it has that power over you because
Yes.
nobody knows, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's so true, man. I'm thinking about that conference that we went to with Lee Strobel. You remember how he talked about friendship?
Yes.
And like what it meant, and he talked about that. He said the way you get friendship, it's almost like you throw bait. You get a little bit of vulnerable, and then the other person see if they replicate it, and then they get vulnerable back, and then it's a back and forth, until that relationship becomes intertwined and becomes deep at that point, But yeah, you have to have the discernment to know how deep that relationship is.
And God will give you that discernment completely, 100%. God will give you that.
Yeah.
But we have to ask for that too.
Right.
I mean, we have to be intentional with God. We're praying with that.
Yeah.
God, I need a friend.
Yeah.
And we're not meant to be alone either.
No.
We're not.
No.
It's easier to fall down when you're alone.
Yeah.
Because you got nobody else to lean on.
Right.
You're handicapped.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. It starts with that prayer. I told you the other time. I prayed for you as a friend. Yeah, it was an answered prayer,
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, And now, like, the more we communicate, the
Yeah.
more that we talk, the more that we hang out.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
God, you're so intentional.
Yeah.
You're so intentional with us.
Yeah.
And it's because we're intentional with you.
Right.
And it's because we prayed for that.
Yeah.
And God will wait at the right timing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know our paths met at just the right timing.
Right.
Right when it needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Timing is important. And again, we talk about that, right? Seasons.
Oh, yeah.
I would have met you 10 years ago. I don't think we would have connected. And
no, I don't think you would have been in the right mindset.
Yeah.
And I would have been
I
in the right
wouldn't have
mindset.
been. Yeah. Yeah. And it would have almost been like I would have blown through the gold of this relationship, of this friendship, because just I wasn't there. I hadn't grown to how I am now, and same thing for you. And it's seasons. We have to know and have that wisdom to know the season and to find those friends within those seasons.
Yep. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend."
Oh, I love that.
And man, that is one of my favorite verses because there's so much growth that comes with that.
Yeah.
I feel I'm sharper now.
Yeah.
Ever since I met you, I've become sharper.
Thank
Watch
you.
out, man.
Me
I'm going to
too.
slice you.
Me too, bro. Same for me, man. 100%. That's powerful, dude. That reminds me of that time we were in the truck. Remember, we were just kept going back and forth with each other, and Just you were throwing nuggets, I was throwing nuggets, our friend Hector was throwing nuggets, and then my son Aaron was throwing nuggets. But when you say iron sharpens iron, when you sharpen something, right, there's little flakes of metal that fly off. Hey, someone's gonna catch that when you're sharpening each other. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
Aaron caught it, dude. He caught the wisdom that we were talking about, and because of that, we brought him along with us, and we were rubbing shoulder to shoulder.
Yes.
And he grew, dude, as a kid, you know, listening to all these things. And what better way to like have my son learn from godly men than to bring him and hear these conversations, hear these things, you know.
And I'm
It's
so
powerful.
glad that you brought him.
That's powerful.
You know, because we might sometimes think that, oh, he's too young. Oh, he might not understand.
Yeah.
Oh, they understand far more than what we imagine.
They pick up so much.
Yes. And then he was showing it.
Yeah.
He was showing like, wow, there's so much wisdom at such a young age.
Yeah.
And how much more wisdom can he attain the more he hangs out with iron sharpeners?
Yeah.
You know, with what we are.
Yeah.
What our friends are.
Yeah.
The right friends, of course.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful, man. That makes me excited for the next generation, you know?
It really does.
And even this, even like, I don't know for you, but for me, like, how was friendship modeled for you growing up? You know, like, because I'm thinking about my kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're modeling friendship in a deep way. You know, it's not a superficial friendship.
Yeah.
And we're modeling it to them, and they're learning how to have those deep friendships, you know? And that's why I say, how was it for you growing up? Because for me, it was very superficial, the friendship.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I never got modeled that. Unfortunately, I learned that later in life, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, how was it for you?
I mean, looking back, I guess all my friendships that I ever known were superficial. I mean, only until now that I've learned the power of vulnerability and transparency. But before, I was completely closed off. I was a closed off individual who would just communicate based on what I needed. Oh, this guy looks cool. I might hang out with them. This guy looks like a nerd. I'm not gonna hang out with them.
Yeah.
Oh, he might help me with my homework. You know what? It's actually beneficial.
Yeah.
You know, it was always superficial in what way it could benefit me. And let's see. So because I had the wrong friends in high school,
Yeah.
I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done.
Right.
You know, I hung out with a lot of street guys. And what did I do? I did street things. You know, opening up cars, stealing things, going to parties, you know, drinking, smoking, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. But I got myself involved in that because I was hanging out with the wrong friends. I wasn't wise in my friendships.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't know where to learn it from. See, my parents didn't really have close friends. So I never saw, like what you're saying, that your son now is seeing the deep friendship that you have now. He can you're setting a standard for friendship. You're showing him what friendship is without telling him, because he can see it. And I didn't have all of that. I didn't have the wisdom to look for all that. So I was just led.
Yeah.
I was led by other kids, immature,
Yeah.
doing the wrong things, having fun, enjoying it, because I didn't know the amount of damage it was doing to me.
Yeah.
It was foolish.
Yeah.
It really was foolish.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. And even with that, see, 1 Corinthians 15:30, don't be misled. Bad company corrupts good character.
Wow.
Right?
I mean,
Just like who you associate, eventually is gonna have some type of influence over your life.
my younger life was a testimony of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, we even think like, oh no, that won't influence me, but it does. Haven't you noticed, like, certain relationships, certain people that you hang out with, you end up talking like them, walking like them. If you pay attention to those minute little things,
Oh man.
you end up you
adopt their character.
Yeah, you
Yes.
do. And it really does. It affects us, you know, whether we see it or not, whether we think it's gonna affect us or not. It really does. It really does.
And there's a reason. There's so much wisdom in the word, in the book, in reference to friends and who we associate with. Another one is Proverbs 22:24-25. It says, "Do not be a friend of one who has bad temper, and never keep company with a hothead, or you will learn his ways and set a trap for yourself." You see, it is written. If we associate in that, we're gonna start adopting those same personalities, those same traits, and it's gonna make our life a lot harder than it should be.
Yeah.
It really will.
Wow. Man, as you were saying that, I started thinking about the opposite of that. Or I don't know if it's the opposite, but what came to mind was meekness, mansedumbre, right? That would, that to me, that would be the opposite of it.
Yep.
It's like somebody who is under control, who is not hot-tempered, who is not gonna blow up, and you know, and that would also rub off on you, right?
Yeah.
Is having that that power under control, somebody that you're associating with, that's gonna rub off on you.
It is
in that way too.
It
works both ways.
There's a saying in Spanish that I would always hear growing up. It goes, "Dime con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, because without wanting to, like we said, we start to act the same.
Yeah.
Treat each other the same, have the same lingo.
Yeah.
Start getting bugged out by the same things.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that either, even though you do.
Yeah.
But in order to fit in, I don't like that either.
Right.
You know, we adjust ourselves to who we want to belong to.
Right.
But now it's like, I want to belong to God and only God.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm going to find friends who belong to God.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
Because if I'm going to adopt something, it's going to be for the better.
Yeah.
If I'm going to hang out with somebody, it's going to be a godly man.
Right.
Who can see me.
Yeah.
Who can help me. Who can guide me.
Yeah.
In a godlier way.
Yes. Yes.
It's really important who we hang out with.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's important who we associate ourselves with.
And how you said, just making sure that the person has a relationship, a deep relationship with God, with Christ, with, you know, they're rooted, you know?
Yeah.
I've always, I don't know, like, to say I'm a Christian, I love that because it gives you a perspective of who you worship, right?
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I feel that it's a heavy thing to just throw around.
Yeah.
And just because you say I'm a Christian, it doesn't necessarily mean like you're walking deeply with God, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, I always, how you said, I think it's important to ask God for wisdom and to make sure that the people that you are associating with are walking hand in hand with God. And only God can do that, right?
Oh yeah.
Only God can give you that wisdom. Because if it's just about the title, well, you know, that's just the title.
The title is meaningless.
Yeah. Without having those deep roots. And it's important. It's important to be walking with God hand in hand and having that deep relationship.
Yeah.
Because that's how you will sharpen each other, right?
Oh yeah.
Because now you're connected, I'm connected, we're walking together, we're sharpening each other.
Well, yeah, because now I can show you, hey, God is showing me this.
Yeah.
God is teaching me this.
Yeah.
Oh. What is God teaching you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what he's teaching me.
Yeah.
And we go back and forth.
Yeah.
And we learn from one another. We grow together.
Yeah.
Because we're both walking with God.
Yeah.
Maybe not together, separately, but we come together and we talk about what God is teaching us.
Yeah.
And we learn from one another that way.
Yeah.
But to tell me a little bit about your bad friends that you've had in the past, because we've all had them. We've all had them.
For me, it was it had to do with drinking, the party life. You know?
Oh yeah.
It was belonging to that group of being influenced in that way, and for me, that's kind of where my testimony goes into, of the things that I was doing that I shouldn't have done, that I got led astray. Party life, drinking, and just not being centered in God, you know?
Oh yeah.
And when I came to Christ, it was hitting rock bottom because of that, because of I got left. I got left in the
Wow.
road. You know, my friends left.
Oh, that's the worst, man. They got you trashed. They got you wasted. And, oh man, I can't pick him up. I can't carry him. He's on his own. Figure it out.
Yeah,
Middle of the night.
yeah. And once I found Christ, then those relationships, we didn't have things in common, you know.
Yeah.
And so obviously, like we split apart again. You know, because they were on a different they were focused on other things.
Yeah.
And I was trying to grow my relationship with God, and that drove us apart.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it's like during those moments where you look back, you're like, what happened to all my friends? I had so many.
Yeah.
I had an army of friends.
Yeah.
That I used to go party with. Where are they now? I haven't heard from them. I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
You know, because our life is different now.
Yeah.
But I think as the closer that we get with God and the closer that we walk with God, God will start removing those influences that you no longer need, those friends that you don't need in your life anymore. Yeah. And expect that to happen.
Yeah.
I expect that to happen the closer I got to God. Okay, God, I know I'm going to get a little lonely before you start giving me the friends that I need. That's true. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. You know, when I came to the church, I really had nobody, not even the family. You know, and that was our biggest prayer, I would say, because my wife and I were in the same boat. We don't have anybody to lean on. We don't have anybody to talk to. We have a baby. We don't know what we're doing. Yeah. How are we going to raise this boy into a man? Yeah. If we don't even have the right influences of what a man should be, what a godly man should be. So that was the beginning of our prayer. God, we need a family. God, we need friends. So our initial prayer was, God, we need friends, but God gave us more than that. Yeah. He gave us a whole family. He gave us a village, you know, and I tell you all the time, Adi, it takes a village.
It takes a village. Yeah. Yeah.
And God has done that. Yes. He removed me from where I was into where I needed to be, where he knew I was going to grow. Yeah. Where he knew he was going to give me the right influences, the right people who can pour into me, pour into my wife, and pour into my son. And boy, now that I look back, I'm like, God, did God show up? Did you show up or what? I mean,
God showed up big.
he gave me more than what I ever thought I wanted. Yeah. See, I didn't even know I needed all this. Yeah. I prayed for, just give me some friends. Just give me somebody to talk to. He gave me the whole church. Yeah. Now we talk to everybody and everybody fits into us and it's awesome. Yeah. And within that big group, we have our closer friends. Yeah. Yeah. Who walk beside us, who walk with us. Yeah. Who help us. Who know our hearts. Who know how to help us individually because they know us. Yeah. And it's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Powerful. It's so powerful. God is so good. Yeah. God is so good.
Yeah. 100%. That was one of the things last year that I think God taught me and showed me. One of the greatest treasures and one of the biggest blessings that God could give you is that what you just explained. Yeah. But how like you don't even know what you're missing out on, right?
You don't, because
you don't even know that you need that. How you were saying, like for us too, it was a prayer of give us friends, but we didn't know what that meant. I was thinking like give us friends, like the ones we used to have. But
I want a compa. Give me a compa, por favor.
Yeah, like just give us some type of company,
Yeah.
But no, that's not what God had in mind, and that's not what God showed us, is those deep relationships, how you were saying, those relationships that you're able to walk side by side with, that you're able to connect in a deep level, and that you're able to do life together. Isn't that insane, just to be able to do life together? That's powerful. And that's beautiful. That's I don't know. I could have never imagined the blessing of that, it's big. It's amazing to have that. It's such a blessing.
But God knows just what we need.
God knows what we need.
When we need it.
Yeah.
And He'll give us more.
Yeah. 100%. And putting Him first. Starting with that prayer,
God-centered.
Give me the right friends,
Yep.
Give me relationships. Show me. And putting God first.
Now I'm just sitting back reflecting on what was and what is now.
Yeah.
And it's still, it leaves me in awe. It leaves me in absolute awe. But you can't help but think this was all part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
God has this journey for us.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have had the friends that I had, if I wouldn't have had those superficial friendships, I don't think I would have valued the great friendships that I have now.
That's true. That's really true what you're saying, yeah.
So now it's like, wow, I know what good friends are because I've had really bad ones, really horrible friends.
Yeah.
That gave me nothing but bad advice and bad advice that I followed.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. It's like you need that comparison, and like having that comparison, how you were saying, because of experience.
It's still a blessing.
Yeah.
It still is.
It is a blessing, 100%. Because you're able to value the difference and you treasure the difference,
Some lessons are learned hard.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. I like that.
See, now I have friends who be like, Marco, you don't pray? Marco, you don't like to pray? No.
Let's pray.
Let's pray. Let's pray.
Yeah.
And that's when it started.
Yeah.
Because I really had that mindset. Oh, I'm not going to pray. I'm not a prayer warrior. That's not my thing. You want to pray? Let me get my wife. My wife is a prayer warrior. She got this.
Yeah.
Baby, take control.
Yeah.
Come pray.
Yeah.
But no, prayer was always meant to be my thing too.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have the right friend to guide me towards that, to take me under his wing and be like, hey, we'll pray together.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't feel comfortable? That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll be uncomfortable together.
Yeah.
And we'll pray.
Yeah.
And it'll get easier.
Yeah.
And it did. And now I'm like, wow, I've been missing out on prayer my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Prayer is because it all starts with prayer, man. That's the lifeline again,
Yes.
We need prayer. We need prayer. And what better way, like you said, when you have those relationships that, hey, come on, let's pray. Let's bring this to God together,
Yes. And that's just with prayer, but that goes with everything that we don't see.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we talked about earlier, saying, I already walked through this.
Yeah.
I know what you're missing.
Yeah.
You need this in your life. You need God. You need to invite God in this aspect of your life as well.
Yeah.
And prayer was one of the things that I wasn't involving God in.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have you to show me how to, or hey, men pray too. It's not just a woman's job. Well, that was my mentality. Yeah. Obviously, it was wrong.
Yeah.
But now I have access to.
Yeah. Man, and do you pray, bro?
And now I pray, man. Now I pray for everything.
That's so good.
Have a little bit of conflict, God. I need your help. I need your wisdom.
Hey, but that's where it is, That's the power of doing life side by side and having somebody come alongside you, and just, hey, let's put God at the center.
Yeah.
Because that's what's important in every area.
Mm-hmm.
In prayer, in your marriage, in your parenting, in everything, Let's put God at the center of everything we do. That's amazing. Just through friendship, we're able to do that in such a natural way, to come alongside. Let's go. Let's do this.
I can't help but reflect, because these conversations are raw, and when you're talking about it, you can't help but reflect on what you're saying. Yeah. And you think back. And glory to God for what he's done. Yeah. Glory to God for what he's done in our lives. Preparing us for this. Mm-hmm. Even to be able to talk in the podcast. Yeah. Even to doing this. Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to do it like this. I mean, if it wasn't you inviting me, hey, Marco, I think I would have not have done it. Man. If I would have, it was a friend who challenged me to say yes to God. Yeah. If that friend wasn't there to say, hey, Marco, you keep running away. Yeah. You keep saying no to a lot of things. I think it's time you switch it up and start saying yes more often. Yes, yeah. Because God is calling you. Yeah. But you keep saying no. Yeah. It's time to say yes.
That's powerful.
And these are the powerful things that pivoted my life closer to God. Started saying yes. Yeah. Even though I was afraid. Yeah. Hey, It's okay to be a little scared.
Yeah.
It's new.
Yeah.
You're not used to this.
Yeah.
God doesn't call you to be comfortable all the time. You're not meant to be comfortable. If you're comfortable, guess what? You're probably not growing.
Yeah. There's no growth in comfort.
None at all.
No. You gotta be stretched in order to grow.
Oh, yeah. And boy, has God been stretching me.
Me too, bro. I mean, doing something like this is not something I've ever done. You either, right? And
No, never.
It's a challenge. It stretches you, but again, we know that we're doing this for God, right? We're doing this to glorify God, and we're just gonna step in and we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.